Show you a couple of quick things. We're on game day, so I'll show you how you can keep an eye on what's going on Sundays particularly. So just logging in, again going to our league, and then so you can see that stuff's going on here, and then you just go to live scoring and this window comes up. So you could kind of open the window, put it to the side, and then work on whatever else you're going to be you need to do if you need to multitask. And so you can see the stats piling up here, and then hopefully while we're on this screen, we'll have some kind of update. Usually there's green or red lights that go off periodically if a player does something. So let's see. There we go. So it'll light up here, and then it'll light up according to whoever was responsible for those points. We'll put that aside for a second, and we'll go to one feature I didn't show you the first time around. It's actually new this year. Is matchup preview, where it predicts how things are going to end up, and this constantly gets updated. So initially, based on whatever previous stats, they'll give a prediction, and then it continues to be modified as different things happen. So I think when I looked at this earlier this week, it showed me trouncing the Rough Riders, but now it looks like the Rough Riders might actually win this game. Just a couple other things I want to show you, particularly in transactions here. You can propose trades. Let's say that you are looking for a particular player, or you want to trade with a particular team. You can select those here. Let's say that I wanted to trade with House of Balls. And you can propose a trade by using these buttons here. So for example, I could throw out Matt Ryan. This keeps a summary of what you're proposing so far, in exchange for Denver's team defense, say, for example. And then you can also throw in draft picks. So let's say that I also wanted a second round pick next year, and so I could put that in, and then I could click submit trade. I can also put a message to the other team, which happens to be Pete, and then he'll receive it. He'll be able to take a look at it. He can make counter offers or reject it or whatever. So you can go back and forth until both of you are happy. Anyway, we're not going to do that. The other thing you can do, if you you're not after somebody specific, is change your trade block. So, for example, I can edit my profile here to say, oh, okay, yeah, let's say that Ezekiel Elliott's suspension is held up, so let's say that I want to drop him, and I could be looking for a specific player, but this option is more useful if you go after something general. Say that you're particularly strong in a certain position, so you can afford to give something up there. You could tick off, say you had good running backs, and you could afford to let one go, then you could say that. Or you could say, actually, my stats are really good with passing touchdowns because of my quarterback or whatever, and then here it's the reverse, where you tick off those things that you need. Let's say that I needed wide receivers, or I needed passing yards. Anyway, and then you can throw in a comment. You can save those changes, and then let's just do that actually for now. And then you can see that this ends up being a summary of what everybody is looking for. So um, again, positions offered, running back, position needed, wide receiver, passing yards. Anyway, so all that stuff is there. So that pretty much covers that. There's also, it's sometimes worth looking at the transaction history just to see who's doing what players have been dropped by whom, all that kind of stuff. Um, and yeah, I think that those really are the main things. Oh, one thing I'll mention is the waiver wire order. Um, so if a player gets dropped in the first week or 6 days, something like that, that they get dropped, at least up until I think the next game time, um, there may be several teams that try to pick up that particular player. And during that first week, it doesn't go to whoever tries to pick up that player in the free agency pool first. It goes to the waiver wire order. I think this changes throughout the year. I'm not sure why I'm first. I don't know why this. I assume this is random. I don't really know. I haven't. It's not something I've really paid a whole lot of attention to before. So anyway, so when you go to try to pick up a player, if they are still on the waiver wire, you'll see that here. Let's see. I think I just dropped a running back. Yeah. So there we go. So waiver wire. So that means that if you try to pick them up, then you might not necessarily get them. However, after roughly a week goes by, then it just that player will go back to just being a free agent and first come first serve kind of deal. Yeah, so I think that's about it. If you have any other questions, you can just fire me an email and I'll probably answer to the group. All right, good luck.